got a lot going on this week, man. We got ESTEE on Monday, Merck Monday, Diamond Back Energy Monday. We know that that's a super big time growth in terms of the energy sector. PFIZER, okay, PFIZER is going to be interesting. CVS, T-Mobile, and DuPont on Tuesday. We got GM on Wednesday, PayPal, Twilio. Thursday, we got Viacom, Roku, Peloton, AMC. Friday, we got the Labor Department's employment report, which is going to be really, really important for FX and, well, for the whole market, because if employment report comes out better than expected, we may see the Fed start to shift. Hey, Jake, like they could, what could happen is they could raise interest rates, which would then affect the market if there's confidence, right?
Exactly. I mean, all we really need to do is just keep our eye on for Friday. Obviously, with FX, we know what to expect, and we know never to trade on a Friday anyway. So next week, Monday is definitely going to be interesting. This week is already interesting. I mean, I don't think that we've had the results from ESTEE LAUDER yet, but
No.
have you seen that move to the downside?
Oh man, the move to the downside. Let's take a quick look at that.
It's EL.
All right.
All
right, ESTEE LAUDER, let's take a quick look at that. Oh man, take a look at that gap to the downside. Yep. So, on the higher time frame, nothing really significant to worry about. I mean, that's an exhaustion, but I mean, we'll talk about this a little bit later on, but yeah, that's a big gap to the downside. And that's what you'll get, in the equities market sometimes. Okay, because price won't get filled until a certain point. We have a gap to the downside. Price got filled at previous high, which is area sensitivity. So that makes sense. But, Jake, we got a lot going on at PFIZER right now. We're obviously going to have good numbers coming out of PFIZER, but the market could have already priced that in. All right. We have good management there. We also have dividends there. Okay. CVS has kind of been, as we know, just a vaccine hub. Hey.
Yeah, definitely.
So
I need to definitely take a look at PFIZER. I mean, it's interesting, but again, it's already priced in, and I like to buy at value. So I don't think it's probably at value at the moment, but let's have a look.
So onto the PFIZER charts. All right, we see it's testing its weekly mid-range zone. Question will become, is earnings going to outperform expectations? Okay. And we know that even if it does, okay, hence Tesla. All right. The market may already price that in, making a move to the downside. We know that there's going to be a lot of sell pressure here too. So we got to expect that, okay, for a potential move to the downside, or if market destroys estimates, we're going to see our free range at least to previous high before we see our next injection of sell pressure. All right. We got T-Mobile, we got DuPont coming out. Okay. Nothing extremely crazy, in my opinion, is going to come out of there and send price into new ranges. Okay. We have GM on Wednesday. GM, it's all about the chip shortage, right? I think GM is in a bit of a better position than Ford. All right. But the thing is Ford has developed a pin on the charts. So that's going to keep other automakers to the downside. That's going to prevent a break. Okay. So even if numbers are good, which they should be, there's still going to be chip shortage that they have to deal with, that we need to be aware of. Okay. PayPal, Twilio, expecting good numbers from there. It all comes down to the technicals with that. I want to talk about Roku and Peloton quickly though, right? Roku and Peloton, Jake, we know we're doing extremely well, but the thing is it's getting to the point where they are the most expensive stock, right? So the market may have already priced in and it's already extended from its. With Roku and Peloton, we know that the market may have priced it in already. Hey, Jake?
Yeah, I mean, it might have priced in already, but if we look at Peloton, we do see exhaustion, and most people, because of the pandemic, have been training from home. They have bought Peloton equipment. I know that some personal trainers and some people who I know have bought Peloton products. So I'm going to probably expect that they are going to smash earnings. So we might see a move to the upside. And if we look at the chart, it looks as though we're seeing consolidation on the daily time frame. So Peloton might be a buy after earnings.
Yeah, it really just depends on how price reacts to earnings and area sensitivity. We do know that we have a horizontal level of buy pressure, lower level of consolidation. So if we do see a gap to the downside, we're likely going to move to the downside. but that's not guaranteed, because if earnings absolutely smash, what we may see is a move to the downside followed by a move back to the upside, which would be then a stop hunt, which is essentially a market grab before then a change in direction. Okay, so moving on from Peloton, we know the same thing with Roku. The market really just has overpriced it. It's expensive stock, just like Peloton. So we need to wait, be a little bit patient, okay? We have Viacom. We know that we saw a collapse with Viacom due to the Archegos debacle, okay? Viacom was trading at the $60 range. Now it's trading at the $40 range, okay? We know that Archegos pushed it to the $60 range. In my opinion, it should be at the $40 range, not at the $60 range. It's also not a stock that I would be in, okay? I think money could be better placed elsewhere, to be honest with you. AMC, we know, right? We know we could go anywhere with this, hey, Jake, even though they have a flood of shares for sale in the market. Okay, so supply is extremely high. Does the demand follow is the question, and that really just depends on, you know, Wall Street Bets and the whole Reddit, the Reddit boys.
Yeah, they could definitely push price to the upside, but let's just see about that one. You never know.
Never know. We never know. All right, on to crypto. Ethereum broke 3,000 for the first time, as we expected. Hey, Jake?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we knew that Ethereum was going to see a move to the upside. Once it did break previous high, we've seen hardly any exhaustion. Buyers just came straight in and pushed it now to that 3,000 mark. And we do know that crypto does like round numbers. So let's see if it can break through the 3,000, or we're going to see sell pressure now. It can really go either way with this one.
Agreed. Yeah, that's important to remember. Crypto does love round numbers, okay? We also have DOGE that we'll go through, okay? That's looking technically really, really juicy, all right? We have XRP that's up 17%. It is the best performing crypto right now, best performing coin, I should say. Okay, this is due to IPO expectations. Also, they should be able to get through their legal situation without too much of a setback. Okay, so XRP, will we see it continue to the upside, or is it too extended? We do not know. We have to wait and see. But we usually like to trade based off of support. So when price is extended to the point where there's no previous area of sensitivity other than previous high, well, then we wait for previous high. Okay, so Jake's going to take it to Ethereum. I'm going to take it to DOGE. Jake, take it over, buddy.
Okay, so Ethereum, daily time frame. We already know that price broke previous high and now is reaching the 3,000 mark. But let's go through a little bit of technicals on Ethereum. So when price broke previous high here, we did see a move to the upside, and then we saw the higher time frame exhaustion. Again here, what do we see? Move to the upside, impulsive move, just like has happened here. And then what do we see? Higher time frame exhaustion. So we know that we've hit the 3,000 mark. Crypto does like even numbers. So are we going to see that higher time frame exhaustion for a move to the upside? We will see what happens on Ethereum, but nothing to trade yet. It's way too extended. You need to wait for that sell pressure to come in. And I'm going to guess it's probably going to come in soon, but who knows? We let the charts tell us the story. We don't like to guess. We like to go off technical analysis. So David, you're going to go through Dogecoin.
All right, thanks, Jake. Appreciate it. Okay, we're on to DOGE now. This is an interesting one, right? Because what is DOGE? Is it DOGE or Doge? Dogecoin. Sorry, retake. All right, thanks, Jake. We're now on to Dogecoin or Dogecoin, whatever you want to call it. Doesn't really matter. What does this coin do? It does nothing. This thing was literally made as a meme to other cryptocurrencies, and now it's worth something because the market says it's worth something. As Elon Musk says, fate loves irony, okay? And in that case, the market values this as an asset, okay? There's volume in here now. We know that this is a tradable asset. We know that price is respecting area sensitivity. It's going to be really fun and interesting to see where Doge can go. Okay, so we're here on the 4-hour time frame, not any higher because there's no historical sensitivity to identify. All right, we identify horizontal sell pressure here, mid-range area of horizontal buy and sell pressure. Okay, what do we see here is we saw a wedge. We have horizontal sell pressure meet higher highs. Okay, a wedge, we got the squeeze, push, exhaustion. We have buy pressure come in at mid-range zone for continuational push. What we see is higher highs, okay? We know that price, excuse me, we'll take it to the 1 hour time frame. We know that price is continuing to the upside. And what do we talk about? When price makes a push and fails to come back for a full or complete exhaustion and sees early buy pressure, okay, that tells us, well, there's continuational buyers, okay? As we can see, there's more people looking to buy Doge than sell Doge. And it makes sense if you think about it, right? Because when you buy this, okay, unless we know that there's two types of investors, right? There's an investor and then there's a day trader. If you're buying this as an investor, you're not buying it to sell it. You're buying it because you're interested in what this thing can do. You don't want to miss the boat. There's a lot of FOMO going on as liquidation or money, excuse me, and volume is going into Doge. So what you're seeing is that there's more buyers in the market than sellers. This is why price is failing to come back for full and complete exhaustions. Now, it's your job and responsibility to identify area sensitivity. Here we have previous high, okay? We have low. Remove that. Okay. And what we can see here is sort of like that wedge as well. We have lower lows, so we can identify a downtrend as well. We have the break to previous high. That's a push. What do we know when there's a failure of exhaustion off area sensitivity? And this is sensitivity because we know there's previous sell pressure. What do we know? We know that if there's a failure of exhaustion, there is a lot of what? Buy pressure. Okay, so price is now breaking its, we're going to take it down to the 15-minute time frame. Price is broken its previous high. Okay, here we have a push and exhaustion cycle, re-injection of buy pressure, and now we're looking for a continuational move to the upside. Now, in normal circumstances, like in the Forex market, okay, this is an extension that we have to be careful of, a stop hunt back to the downside. We're on the lower time frame. We know that lower time frame stop hunts or higher time frame pin bars. But in this scenario where you just have so many more buyers, so many more people holding their coins and sellers, we do expect a move to the upside. Okay, so if you are in Doge, okay, keep a hold. If you are Team FXG, okay, we're looking to the upside. Keep track of green light on the traffic light signals. All right, Jake, we're going to now take it to the stock market. On to you, brother.
Okay, David. So I'm going to take it to ESTEE LAUDER that we went through earlier. We're going to start on the weekly time frame on this one. And what can we see? We can see our monthly zones, basically previous areas, well, previous highs. What can we see here? We can see that when price does break previous high, we see an impulse move to the upside. Let's just zoom out a little bit. So here we saw this move to the upside and then full and complete exhaustion back to previous high before a move back to the upside, breaking above. What have we seen here? We haven't seen full and complete exhaustion. So what I'm going to possibly look for is full and complete exhaustion before I look to buy this stock. But this could be a quick in, quick out on ESTEE LAUDER because we've got the news coming out today, we've got earnings, and we've had a gap to the downside to this area of consolidation, higher time frame exhaustion. If we take it to the 4 hour time frame, all we are really looking for is some kind of buying confirmation for a quick in, quick out to previous high. If we don't see that, we are possibly going to see that higher time frame exhaustion back to previous high. And then ESTEE LAUDER, I mean, if we look at the past, it is in an uptrend. So this could be a good buy when we do see that full and complete exhaustion or some kind of exhaustion. It's a little bit too extended at the moment, even with that gap to the downside. Only quick in, quick outs on ESTEE LAUDER. Again, team, keep your eyes on this one. You will possibly get a signal, but it will be a quick in, quick out, not an investment, not yet. It's way too extended. So that's ESTEE LAUDER. Let's take it to let's take it to David now.
All right, thanks, Jake. We're now on to ARCG ETF, Genomic Revolution. I'm very bullish on this. And the reason is because, I'm bullish on the whole sector. We have a situation where, healthcare is meeting technology, but not just technology as we know it, artificial intelligence, supercomputing. Okay, we have the deep mind situation. We have the proteins that are able to be, essentially what's happening is, from what I understand, Creating vaccines, creating any type of new drug is essentially going to be like coding. Okay, you're going to be able to code it, do all your analysis without actually producing the drug itself and going through trials. You'll be able to know the outcome before that, okay, which shortens the time, which speeds things up. Okay, we're in the very beginning of healthcare. We're in the stone age of healthcare. I really believe that things are about to change. Now, ARCG, in my opinion, is one of those ones where you put your money in, you let it sit. Every so often, once a month, treat yourself to a few shares, buy it, load it. And one day it may come into fruition, into something that's really special because, well, this ETF has a lot of great companies within its basket. Now, why do we want to have an ETF on ARCG? Is because, well, first off, unless, some of you watching this may be knowledgeable enough and in that sector to be able to go within a company, analyze what they're doing, and actually make sense of it. I can't, okay? I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist. A lot of these words are mumbo jumbo. I trust ARK Invest. I trust the talented people that they hire and pay a lot of money to manage these ETFs. I trust them more than myself. So instead of buying these companies separately, I'm buying the ARCG ETF that's a managed ETF and managed by people who will adjust as needed because I just don't have the intelligence, or I should say knowledge, to be able to do that. Okay, so I strongly suggest that. Okay, on the monthly time frame, ARCG, what do we see? Strong move to the upside. Okay, this was also supported by COVID. Okay, Cathie Wood also became very popular, very outspoken, and her popularity came due to the strength of all her ETFs as well as her positions. Okay, she's been bullish Tesla for a very long time. She's been bullish Genomic Revolution, FinTech, autonomous technology. So as ARK Invest, the hedge fund itself, gained popularity, so did Cathie Wood. All right, so what do we see? We see a strong move to the upside, okay, and then we see a move to the downside. Why is this move to the downside caused? Well, we saw that, everything was shooting to the upside. Everything was going to the moon. Then we saw yields rose. So inflation concerns came in. And then we saw more realistic price come back into the market. But on a technical speaking standpoint, in simplicity, we have what? A push, exhaustion, okay? And we see exhaustion, buy pressure come in at completion of what? What is this? Like, why is this buy pressure coming in here? There's no historical information. Well, where do we take it? We take it to the fib, okay? Whenever there's no historical sensitivity, the market respects the fib. And what are we seeing here? We're seeing buy pressure come in at exactly 38.2% fib. Now, if you're a part of the gentleman markets community, you know that price finding buy sensitivity at its 38.2% fib rather than its 50 or 68, 61.8 fib is telling us that there is a lot of buy sensitivity. Even though this is a strong move to the downside, we're seeing buyers at its earliest fib level rather than its mid or latest level of strong sensitivity, telling us again, buy sensitivity is entering, which we want to see. Now, we identified what? Previous high. We know that this is where sell pressure came in. Again, inflation concerns. We have lower level of buy pressure, which is what? 38.2% fib. Okay. Again, telling us early injection of buyers, even though this does seem pretty dramatic. Okay. It's actually a pretty regular move. All right. Here we have weekly mid-range zone, buy sensitivity. So that's support now turning into resistance. What are we waiting for a high probability entry team? That's right. We're waiting for a break of previous high and weekly zone. This is a level of sell pressure. So we're waiting for buyers to break sellers and we're moving the previous high. Okay. Some of you are already in here. We had a call to the upside at our 38.2%. We had a BL, so a buy limit order there. And clearly we're doing all right with it. And then we're going to make our way to previous high. Okay. Moving on to FX. Jake, take it over, brother.
Okay, thank you, David. So I'm going to take it to Euro Aussie. So Euro Aussie, we know that the fundamentals are pretty much the same on this one. The Euro is a negative 0.8 and the Aussie is a negative 1.5. So if we have a look at this, we can see here they are pretty much the same next to each other. And so we move to strategy number 2. Obviously, if you are a part of the team, you know what strategy 2 is. Strategy 2 is taking fundamentals that are the same and then finding buy and sell limit orders at areas of sensitivity for quick in, quick outs off of those areas. So what can we see? We can see that price moved to the downside, breaking its higher time frame uptrend and also its monthly zone, meeting its mid-range area of sensitivity. And now we're seeing consolidation in between these zones. Let's zoom it in and let's take it to the daily time frame. So on the daily time frame, we can see consolidation, and we know that fundamentals are flat on this one. So when price reached previous high, which is here, and also its monthly zone, does it have fundamental strength to break this zone to the upside? No. So we placed a sell limit order this morning. Take profit 1 has been hit. Take profit 2 is at the lower time frame zone, which is here. So we have our 4-hour zones and our 1-hour zones, which are our targets. You always have your targets at areas of sensitivity, and because it is strategy 2, we put them at our lower time frame areas. So our sell limit order was triggered this morning with this pin. We've hit take profit 1. Our SL is now at entry, and hopefully tomorrow we make it to our take profit 2, which will be a nice trade on this one. Hopefully fundamentals stay relatively flat, but we're in a risk-free trade, and that is Euro Aussie. I'll take it back to you now, David.
All right, thanks, Jake. We are now on to USD yen. All right, the first thing we do is we identify fundamental direction. USD is at a negative 4.1. Yen is currently at a negative 3.1. So actually, USD is weaker than the yen, short-term direction to the downside, but we have to do some critical thinking here. What is our mid to long-term direction? Well, mid-term direction could be flat. Long-term direction likely to the upside. The USD, even though we will have, we do have debt issues, we have interest rates that will rise in the near future, okay? Even with that, okay, USD will gain strength. As the market reopens, as the world economies start to open up, the USD will definitely see the benefits of that. And as that happens, at the same time, the yen will weaken as it's a safe haven status, meaning liquidity leaves safer investments and moves into higher risk investments. So short-term downside, mid-term flat, long-term upside. Maybe, what does this mean? Well, we're looking for potential strategy 2. Okay, so we're taking it to what? Monthly upper, monthly lower, weekly upper. Here we have daily upper, daily lower. Okay, if you're a part of the team, you know how to identify these zones. If you're not, okay, when you become part of the Gentleman Markets community, you get access to FXG University, which gives you 18 chapters on how to do everything we're doing. Okay, so what are we seeing here? We're seeing buy pressure off our monthly lower zone, straight shot to the upside. Okay, this makes sense. All right, this is also fundamentals as vaccines are rolling out. Yen was seeing weakness. Okay, so USD started to see strength against the yen. All right, so this is what? Buy pressure breaking our weekly lower, breaking our weekly higher without any exhaustions or impulses, telling us a lot of buy sensitivity. Push, exhaustion, what's next? Potential continuational move. But we know that we only swim with the current. So are we looking for a continuational move to the upside right now as USD is weaker than the yen? Absolutely not, okay? That doesn't mean that this is a change in direction, but it means that we're not yet looking to the upside. We're looking for area of sensitivity, potentially for strategy 2, but it's important to keep this in mind. Here's a bullish engulfing candle on the weekly. What's a bullish engulfing candle on the higher time frame? What is that on the lower time frame? It is a push because price broke previous high. Okay, so what's after a push to the upside? Okay, that's right, exhaustion to the downside. So the question becomes is exhaustion going to complete right now before continuational push? Probably not, considering fundamentals are actually short-term to the downside. All right, so we have to be very careful here. We do see price respecting an uptrend. Okay, we do see this. All right, we are seeing some buy sensitivity. This is some buy limit orders off previous high. So the question will become, are we going to see a continuational move? So double confirmation, impulse, retest, reinjection for a continuational move? Or are we going to see something of this nature, back to area of sensitivity before a continuational move due to short-term weakness? So what are we looking for? We're going to have a buy limit order at previous low, daily upper zone. Okay, so we may have entry there if price makes its way to the downside with short-term weakness. If not, if we have double confirmation, as mentioned, price action confirmation, entry confirmation, and if we have those checked, we may have a quick in, quick out to our weekly mid-range zone. Okay, All right, that's it for today. I appreciate it, Jake. I'll see you for FXG Live in a few minutes. And to those of you watching, we really, really appreciate your time. If you learned anything today, it would mean the world to us if you subscribe, like, press that notification bell, and maybe even leave a comment or tell a friend. Hope you all have a great day, night, morning, or other times. We'll see you the next time.